day makes me want to holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, you know, we need them. Yes, we do. We need those strategies, don't we?
Boy, do we need them.
Yeah, now more than ever. Are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab? Well, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, PLPC. Lauren Leon McMillian. It's been quite a launch to our 33rd season this week.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
It's been, you're right.
Very interesting conversation so far. We talked earlier in the week with Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer.
Yes.
Yesterday we had the honor to talk to his honor, the mayor of the city of Shreveport, Tom Arsenault.
Yeah.
And we got into, a conversation, obviously, about what a lot of people are worried about today, Lauren. We're worried that we're coming apart.
Well,
and, I don't think we're coming apart.
I think there is a lot of crumbling of structures, systems, beliefs, programs that are no longer serving us as a collective.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. Now, I'm not saying that it's a very
may not be
pleasant,
a comfortable thing or a pleasant thing. And there's a lot of people out here asking, what do I do? And that's kind of where I want to focus today.
Okay. Yeah, because what can you do when you see the chaos
we see the chaos. We see the disorder in whether we're looking in our community, whether we're looking at our state, our country, our world, and we see a lot of what you're saying, a lot of that crumbling. Mm-hmm. And we ask ourselves, what can I do? And
and I think a lot of people turn that into a state of helplessness.
Yeah. And get into fear.
Right.
Get into a state of fear.
And what I hope we can do today is kind of flip that on its head, turn that into a sense of empowerment and hope. Because it is.
I think that's a great plan. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Here to Strategies for Living, we appreciate you and we appreciate our sponsors making it possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing and Learning RX, Train Your Brain, and the Balanced Life Wellness Center and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies too. Back in a moment. What can I do? Talking about that today here on Strategies. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning RX Shreveport.
From the bayou to your table, we're keeping it alive with flavors from the family, passed down to survive. The Godfather's here with a twist in the tail, alligator Italian sausage, and it sure won't fail. It's the boss of the bayou, a taste you can't refuse. Italian tradition, Cajun infused. Godfather sausage, bold and true. Andres, bringing the bayou to you.
Get the Godfather alligator Italian sausage only at Fertitta's Delicatessen, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Pick up a muffy while you're there. The Godfather alligator Italian sausage. It's a taste you can't refuse. Sold only at Fertitta's, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body,
and welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillian. Tough week last week with the loss of Charlie Kirk, and of course a lot of people were already saying, we're coming apart. Things are so rapidly changing.
And I'm afraid this is only the beginning.
It may well be. And there may be more to come. And if so, that's
more reason for us to get prepared and to know
and to talk about what we're talking about
to
today.
Launch into our own, in a way, what I kind of hope we're able to do in this episode is to sort of tie together the previous two of the new season. Right?
Well, yeah.
The idea from Mark Anthony that we are limitless, grand creator, eternal souls.
Yep.
Yeah, and powerful. And to bring in the idea of, we also do live within this physical material realm. And so how can we use what's going on around us to better ourselves and everyone else?
Well, I think first we have to understand. At a very fundamental level what's going on, and what's ruling the world, and why, if we are coming apart, why we're coming apart. I go to one of my heroes. I have a number of them. David R. Hawkins,
yes,
who wrote a lot of powerful books, one of which is Power versus Force.
Right.
And Dr. Hawkins put forth, he attempted to map human consciousness. Now, this is not just some woo-woo esoteric stuff. This is, if you really understand what he's doing, this is real world stuff. And he attempted to, map out in a logarithmic way consciousness.
Yeah.
And you can go online and you can download his map of just Google David R. Hawkins map of consciousness, or just map of consciousness will probably get you his work. But he put consciousness on a logarithmic scale. In other words, he just made the numbers up to illustrate, right?
Right.
But the logarithmic scale is from 0, death, up to 1,000,
right, and
enlightenment, right?
And when you refer to death, you're not referring to physical death.
No,
you're referring to life-draining energy.
That's right. Energetic.
Energetically against life.
But
right?
the first level that appears on his scale is at the number 20.
Yes.
And it's shame. Okay?
Yeah.
And the name of that level is shame. The emotional state is humiliation. The view of life of that state is miserable. The God view is despising. In other words, a shame-based person is going to believe God despises them. And the process, the main process of that level is elimination. Get the heck out of here, right?
Right.
And the scale goes all the way up to enlightenment at 700 to 1,000. Again, made up numbers, logarithmic numbers. But that level of enlightenment at 700 to 1,000, the predominant emotional state is ineffable. The view of life is.
Life just is. Yeah.
Life just is.
Right.
The God view is self, and the process is pure consciousness. Now,
just to be clear, when you say the God view is self, you're referring to capital S self, meaning higher more expanded self from what we egoically call the stories and the personality.
That's the little self. Yeah, that's the little S.
I just wanted to clear that up for some of our viewers, because I could hear some kickback on that one. But that's what that means.
So one of the things, as Dr. Hawkins did his research, and you can read all about that in Power versus Force or any of his follow-up books. And he wrote a lot of them before he passed. And by the way, he was a life strategist here a couple of times on Strategies for Living. Smart man.
Very neat,
but one of the things that came out of his work is that he proposes that around 70% of the world or so is actually on that map of consciousness operating below a level of 200. And
now this was when he did his work,
right?
The majority of the time in the 80s, 90s,
in the 90s.
Okay.
So that there could be some shifts, but in all likelihood, we're around the same level. If you take a look at what's going on.
And I have no idea, but I would wonder if what we're looking at now is sort of an opportunity or a catalyst for all of us to break past that average of 200. Or where the average of
society, is not 200. No,
the average of society has been.
But I'm glad you mentioned the 200, because that 200 level, he named that level the level of courage. That's the label he put on that. And the predominant emotional state of 200 is affirmation. The view of life is it's feasible. The God view there is God is permitting, and the process of that level is empowerment. So that's the key level that we want to shift to and go for. And people might be saying, well, why wouldn't I go for enlightenment? Well, yeah, of course, but let's be realistic.
Right.
If most of us are down somewhere between 20 and 200, if we're under 200 and we're hanging out in shame and guilt and apathy and grief and fear and desire and anger and pride, those are the names of the levels under 200.
Which is a lot of what we see in the world, on the media, in social media, right? That's the predominating aspects of society that we see on display.
And so, again, people who are saying, what can we do? What can I do? Well, one of the things that each one of us can do, and this came up with Mayor Tom in yesterday's program. The mayor was talking about, what can all of us do? And
basically, he said some form of it starts with me.
It starts with me. Yeah. If it's to be, it's up to me.
Right.
Which led, I don't remember whether it was you or I, to talk about that proverb that we talk about here on Strategies so much. If everybody sweeps in front of their house, the whole street gets cleaned.
Right.
So one of the things that I can do is, and I think the mayor invited us to do that, look within. And that underscores what the teacher Jesus, gave us 2,000 years ago, which we're still grappling with today, which is the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of God is within you.
Right.
And, we have a hard time because of we're looking out. We live in a world of ego, right?
Where everything happens out there and everyone else, and there's finger pointing, right?
So think about ego, E-G-O, as energy going out. And if you think about that, then again, what I've got to do, what each one of us have to do, is we can't change another person.
No.
But what we can do is we can devote our energy, our time, our attention to doing exactly what the teacher Jesus told us to do. The kingdom of look within.
Right. Yeah.
And we can begin to, if I'm at a level of, if I'm stuck at that, David Hawkins level of anger is at 150 and the predominant emotional state is hate, the view of life is antagonistic. Sound familiar? The God view there is, it's a vengeful God, is a vengeful God. And the process is aggression. Sound familiar? And so, again, that's what we have to look at. That's what we have to deal with. And so many people, since Charlie Kirk's assassination,
I think
are reacting.
Right. And
reacting
I think
to that.
What you said earlier, that, it's all within me, is what we have to look at. And I want to kind of dig into that and what that means in reference to what's gone on, even in particular with the death of Charlie Kirk. I think it's important that we explore what that means.
Absolutely.
Within us.
Absolutely. If you want more information about the things that we're talking about, I would encourage you to pick up a copy of the book Power versus Force by Dr. David R. Hawkins, or at the very least download, go and Google Map of Consciousness, Dr. Hawkins' Map of Consciousness, and begin to take a look at it. And we'll continue our conversation and our discussion today. What can I do? What's the appropriate response? Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. Come back with us.
Tuning out, let's take a ride. Healthy mind and heart open wide. Every step with spirit as our guide. Here on Strategies for Living. Mind, body, spirit, and the groove. Relationships smooth as ocean waves. Let's connect and let's improve. Strategies for brighter days. Wake up your mind with the spark. Feel the energy start to flow. In the show we leave a mark. Guiding lights to help you grow. Strategies to mend and heal. Words that make you feel alive. In every truth and every
And welcome
deal.
back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. We're focusing on what can I do today. And, a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are afraid. And it's understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very
I think
understandable.
it's so important that we look at that because, I think of the analogy of if I'm carrying a cup of coffee and you bump into me and I spill coffee.
Oh, I don't even need anybody to bump into me to spill it, as you know.
I do well know this. Okay, if you spill coffee,
Yeah.
my question is, why did you spill the coffee?
Wasn't paying attention?
No,
No?
it's because you had coffee in your cup to begin with.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that happens with us in life in terms of when things bump into us, right, or we get triggered, whatever comes out not because of the external event, but because it was already there within us.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling fill in the blank, that, be careful not to aim that outwardly or to blame it on the outward events because that was already within you.
Right.
Right. And so,
Because it couldn't happen
right,
if it wasn't
if
there.
it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
and what you're touching on, Lauren, is you're touching on the fact that we live in an ego-based world, right? And that's the world that we've all collectively created. People like Charlie Kirk were encouraging dialogue. Now, some people agreed with a lot of what he said. Some people disagreed with a lot of what he said.
right.
Again, you've got to look within and decide for yourself.
I want to shift perhaps from Charlie Kirk to the killer.
Okay.
Okay, because I think we can all agree that perhaps with the killer, he or she felt a sense of judgment, perhaps righteousness.
Well, yeah. That's come out so far that he vehemently disagreed with, apparently Charlie Kirk didn't like him.
Okay, they chose violence over connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were impatient.
Okay.
And didn't communicate well.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And so what I want us to look at is to be very careful in our own responses and to watch where we see that within ourselves.
Okay.
All of those things.
Yeah.
Because we can all have a sense of judgment or righteousness on occasion, choose violence over connection.
Right.
And it doesn't have to resort to...
Violence doesn't have to be doing what that guy did.
It could be raising your voice.
Right. That's violent.
That's subtle violence.
Could be banging the table. That's violence.
Right.
Right.
Right. Or, having trouble communicating and being impatient. Right. So we can all empathize with those aspects. And I'm not saying at all to empathize with the killer or that it was right or any of that.
You're seeking to understand what I hear you doing is seeking how could he have done such a thing?
Right.
How did it get there?
And what I'm doing also, I want to completely remove the political layer over it. Okay, because we can all sense those things, and I see people reacting in those same ways.
Sure.
Right now.
And it's a trap.
It is.
It is an egoic trap.
Because what you're doing is you're actually just continuing.
You're perpetuating the cycle.
The cycle.
And the cycle is in the culture of crisis that we've all created is an egoic where we see ourselves either individually or collectively. We see ourselves as a victim.
Yes.
and that that victim triangle that we talk about sometimes here on Strategies, that's what we're trapped within individually and collectively. So the victim's triangle just simply has 3 points, of course.
The victim, persecutor,
and rescuer. So we're all looking collectively at who's persecuting us, and we're all looking for a rescuer.
Right.
Again, that's the system. That's the egoic system. That's the trap, if you will. We're trapped in that triangle.
And the way to shift out of that is, just as we've been mentioning, what Yeshua said 2,000 years ago, is to look within.
Right.
To go within and literally realize your power and strength within you to see more clearly and to become and grow and expand in your consciousness, which is what we started to talk about. Right.
And if I see myself as a victim, what's happening is I'm playing a bit with victim, right? VICTIM. Visioning imagery consistently through interior memories.
Okay.
That's a victim. That's a trap.
So in other words, you're continually replaying past memories, overlaying onto the present, and playing that out as if you are a victim of it even though you're the one creating and choosing to
that's
replay.
Right. That's
Okay,
right.
yeah.
And I'm looking. If you're in a victim mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're out looking for a rescuer.
Rescue
whether we say that rescuer is a Republican or a Democrat or an independent or
an alien.
I mean, whatever.
Anything outside of us.
So, again, I'm going to play with rescuer a bit, right? Okay, so recurring, ego-serving, collaborating, ultimately encouraging retreat. Because, again, I want us to understand that we want to refuse to get out of the triangle. Mm-hmm. It's finding a rescuer.
Yeah.
No matter how powerful that rescuer seems to be, a rescuer is outside of us. Mm-hmm. So we want to resist that because that's going to perpetuate the crisis, if you will. It's going to keep us trapped in the triangle to try to find our rescuer out there.
Our oxygen outside of us.
Right.
Yes.
When the truth is, the answer is within me. Mm-hmm. And the way that I get there is the hard work of raising my own individual level of consciousness. That's what David Hawkins' work in Power versus Force and his other books are challenging us to do, right?
Yeah.
They're challenging us to go from wherever we might be. If we're stuck in apathy or grief or fear or anger, he's asking us to take the leap and figure out how to internally move into courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance. Those are some of the levels above that level of 200 of courage, right?
Right.
And so, and we talk about a perpetrator. So, I've given the rescuer and the victim. Let me finish out the triangle.
All right, this is a long one.
This is a very long one.
Let's hear it.
And this is playing.
Yeah.
I'm playing with this. So, persecutor, perennially enslaved with addictions, reacting and searching earth's pleasures, clinging to materialism, using others to further our own ego ruling.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
And so again, you can see if you really understand what I'm saying here, you can see the trap. You can see how we are collectively trapped in this culture of crisis. We're always looking at, I'm a victim in some way, shape, or form. Look at them and that group out there are those people, and I need somebody to rescue me.
And yet, I think it's interesting that you use the word crisis, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the word crisis in Chinese, right? Which is a combination of two characters.
Yeah, I don't know that that's 100% accurate, but the two characters, and you can find this is danger
and opportunity.
And so whether it's completely accurate or not, the idea of it is wonderful.
Right. Yeah. Because if you're presenting to us that what we're looking at is a crisis,
right?
Okay, there's some danger involved. It appears that there's some illusory danger in the physical world, right? But there's also great opportunity to transcend that. And to go within and to be able to expand into a more fuller being of consciousness.
And if somebody is doing something that I think is hurting me or somebody else, how do I move from that place of that trap, if you will, of feeling as a victim into a place where I'm not a victim any longer? I'm empowered. Let's talk about how to do that, because that's the bottom line of where we really need to go, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living, and discussing What can I do? What's the proper response for me now? What can I do? Talking about it today on Strategies.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. What can I do? A lot of us are asking that question of ourselves and of each other in wake of,
the apparent division.
Yeah, the what we're seeing in our country and our society and our world.
Yeah.
The damn thing's coming apart.
Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting because I feel like these times have been prophesized for a long while in many different realms.
Sure.
Right? And one of the ways that I like to look at it is, so in science we learned about the process of cell division, which is called mitosis, right?
Okay.
And that's actually how life, human life in particular, begins, right? Because
Right.
we begin as a single cell, as
Right.
the zygote. And then the process of cell division begins.
And if it doesn't, we're not going to develop into a person.
Right.
Right.
And so my point in trying to remember that fairly basic science lesson is to reflect upon remembering that perhaps division is a great thing. It means growth.
Right.
It means specialization.
It can be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hugely uncomfortable, because I would imagine within the cell everything's split apart. All the all of the tissues have to break and then reform.
Right.
And we of course don't feel or remember that.
But it still
But
it still
that's how it
happens.
happens.
Yeah.
And we know intuitively that's how growth happens on a physical level and on a mental emotional level, right? I
Right.
mean, when we work out physically, we stretch and break our muscles, which hurts. Right? And
But
we're sore,
we're doing
but then
that
we grow.
to grow again and
Right.
and grow stronger. So, in light of that, we've got to go beyond seeing ourselves either individually or collectively as victim.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
And so what do we replace that with? Well, what about creator? All right? We've got to go beyond seeing the other, whoever the other might be. Fill in the blank, because we have
There's
one after the other after the other.
There's plenty of other
Right.
to pick from. And I think that's what keeps us stuck in the cycle.
But instead of dehumanizing and name calling and doing all the other things that we can get into, especially on things like social media where it's so easy, instead of seeing them as a persecutor, what if we saw that as a challenger? Okay? We're creators. There's no persecutors out there,
No.
just like there are no victims.
Right.
We're all creators. And instead of persecutors, there's challengers.
Right. Well,
And the same on the other end of the triangle, where we're looking for a rescuer. You don't need a rescuer. Now, sometimes
and we don't need to be rescuers.
no, we don't
either.
need to be rescued because we're not victims. We may need some coaches.
Sure.
And so instead of rescuer, let's look for coaches.
Right. And the difference there lies in,
But we got to quit killing them. We got to quit killing our coaches.
Well-
But that happens within this reactive environment of seeing myself as a victim and being trapped down in those lower levels of consciousness.
right. And so first and foremost, it starts with being honest and aware of you.
Yeah.
The programs and the beliefs and the egoic stories that you are running within your very being. And we can do this with ourselves, but we especially do this in relationship, whether that's personal relationships or in our relationship with the media or the news or whatever
Sure.
is going on in the street. If I see something, an activity that goes on outside of my home and I have a reaction, an internal response to that, that's an opportunity for me to look at, wow, where did that come from? What am I telling myself in order to create this experience within me? And is it something that I want to continue?
Right. Just like Lauren, I played with the victim, rescuer, persecutor. Let's play with a couple more words because we've introduced creator, right?
Yes.
So if you take the C, and I've said this before, if you take the C in creative and you move it over 3 levels, you shift it to the right 3 letters,
Right.
creative becomes reactive. And that tells the story if you really think about it.
Yeah.
We get if we're in this mode, this lower consciousness, angry, desirous, fearful, grieving, apathetic, guilty, shameful
Yes.
world of the ego, and we're trapped there, then yes, we're going to be reactive.
And I think it's also beautiful that you literally back up the C.
Yeah.
Right? So you take the C and you back up and you see it from behind, from the very front, rather from in the middle.
Yeah.
To become creative, you take reactive. And in reactive, the C, you're seeing in the middle of everything, right?
Right.
And then so if you back up to the very beginning of the word, put the C at the beginning, you're seeing from the beginning.
The beginning.
And you're seeing the whole of the word if you were in that creative flow state.
So I played with the reactive a bit and spelled out, okay, so reactive. Wrote responses, expecting magic, all over the place, criticizing, complaining, contempt, and blaming. Thought oblivious and unfocused. In other words, I'm living in fear. Intimidated, closed off living. Victim mentality and emotional lability.
Okay.
Okay?
Ability.
That's reactive. But I need to shift that somehow, some way to being creative. Again, taking each one of the letters. So conscious choice making and constant cleaning, realistic expectations, engaging in energy, autonomous, accepting responsibility and delaying gratification and being honest with myself and others, and balanced. Thinking safety and trust. In other words, I'm thought conscious and choosing. Intimate, passionate living where victims don't exist. Victims do not exist, and emotionally in control. All right. That's a very different way.
It's a huge shift.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah.
But that's a map for growing and doing the work that I probably need to be doing if I want to shift up and out.
And to get creative, it's really what the word says, right? It's to become curious, open, playful, right?
Yes.
Because when we're in a state often of sadness or anger or fear, I think we feel this energetically. It's very contracted, very serious.
Yes.
And so to be creative is to say, wait a second, it's not as serious as I think it is. Let me take a breath, step back, and see it from a different angle and be more playful with life.
If it's to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
And what can I do? I can begin with me. I can begin with me. If everybody cleans in front of their house, the whole street becomes clean.
Yeah.
Back in a moment here on Strategies. And we're back. We're back to Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. We've covered a lot of territory today.
Well, there's a lot to cover, and I think it's important that we continue to cover it as these times continue to unfold.
We need to continue these conversations, and how do we shift out of this ego-based world that we've created, and that's what we live in. Ego rules the world.
Yeah.
And I don't have to debate on that. Just take a step back and look, and we'll see it play out in all of our systems,
Yes.
all of them.
Yeah.
Whether it's political, religious, you can see it. You can see it over and over.
Yeah. I think it's so important in these times that we really, really begin the inner work of connecting with ourselves and a greater sense of self and community and unity, because that's where our power lies.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I hope I'm wrong, but I really think we're in for a continued bumpy, chaotic ride.
It appears that way.
And if that's the case, it's so important that we begin to shift our focus and reconnect with our own inner stillness,
Yes.
our own inner safety, and connection to the changelessness.
Yeah.
Because change is happening all around us,
All around
but we're
us.
connected always to
But
an
again,
inner
remember what
changelessness.
the teacher said. The
Yeah.
kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, in other words, the kingdom of peace, is within you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, world peace starts with inner peace. Right.
St. Francis said it. Let it begin with me.
Amen.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you. Appreciate you being with us here on Strategies for Living. And we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing, and Learning RX. Train your brain.
Right.
And the Balanced Life Wellness Center. And Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies, too. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.